As soon as we hit start, there is no foreplay here. The game drops us straight into a bad dream. Bad dream? I meant to say a nightmare. We are in a cold cellar or basement. There are metal bars and a hulking guy carving up meat like it's normal Wednesday. The guy looks like... wait, this is Sloth from the Goonies.
You're gonna live with me now.
Welcome back to the channel and to the series. It's me, Gabe. And yes, this is my bad hair. I just could not be bothered. That is basically the state of the entire channel. But in this video series we are going to review every single PlayStation and PlayStation 2 horror games ever released. And I'm going to give them 60 honest minutes to impress me and to see if they are still worth your time today. Now let's get back to hunting ground. Anyways, we are locked in this cage, barely covered in a bed sheet. Very revealing, and then the tone gets even more weird. Flashing cuts of a car accident, fragmented images, and then the big dude comes way too close for comfort, let's just say.
What the hell are you doing?
Oh, mi scusi.
Then thankfully a thunderclap shakes the room, he spooks and runs off. When we come to our senses, we notice the cage is unlocked. But it was just locked a few seconds ago, right? Why? What happened? No clue, but maybe it's for the better that I don't know what his intentions are. Or if it was one, I don't argue with miracles either. Let's just get the hell out of here.
Get the hell out of here!
Under the butcher table, where the sliced and diced business just happened, something jumps out from. The creature bolts through the door and is just gone. Just a moment later, we find a collar on the floor. It says Huey. Ah, so that was the dog. It's good to know that the box art did not lie after all. We crawl out of the cellar and step into an enclosed garden which is wrapped around a castle. Lots of locked doors, dead quiet, not a soul in sight.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
It's all just cold green and browns in color. You know, the iconic brown color palette of the PlayStation 2 era. I am easy to lead on anyways, so if you told me this courtyard was borrowed from a Resident Evil 4 unused side asset pack, I would totally believe you. And our main character? Barefoot, still wrapped in a bedsheet, zero gear. It is the most vulnerable you can feel in a survival horror setting. Some stairs lead up from the garden across two balconies, but only one door actually opens, and there we meet a purple-haired woman who talks in this unsettling, stoic way.
Yes, Master. We will keep her here for a while. I will make sure she stays comfortable.
She leaves us some clothes, we turn and poof, she's just gone.
I never said thank you.
And you'll never have to.
We get dressed and start exploring the mansion. Creepy paintings, long hallways, you know the usual stuff. One portrait looks oddly familiar to our character and triggers another dramatic flashback. An older guy in a hat and coat peering in the car after the accident. It's just a 2-second glimpse into the past, implying maybe the guy from the painting brought us here? I don't know. Then the game hands us a file that basically dumps control scheme in text form. Were we already doing this in the early 2000s? Why are we killing the introduction of gameplay mechanics through actual gameplay? But okay. We got the kick animation with square to stun enemies or smash objects, throw or place items with the triangle after equipping them, crouch with L1 to hide in shadows or behind objects from enemies, backstep with R1 to evade any attack. Also important to note, sprinting and evasion both burn stamina, but there are also herbs out there to find to regain that lost stamina. And this actually matters because stamina bleeds out if you sprint or spam evasion repeatedly.
Fuck!
All these are useful ideas anyways, just deliver like a homework. By the way, if I only knew these red vases meant to be kicked, but okay. But actually, this is one of my pet peeves. Please do not front-load 5 pages of gameplay mechanics and hope I memorize them for later. Show me the buttons when the situation demands them through actual gameplay. Let me learn by doing them maybe. Let me play your game maybe. But I agree, nothing more satisfying than coming home after a long day just to learn and memorize more stuff. Anyway, back to the hallway. From down the corridor, there is a sound. A kitten mewing and a dog panting. I picture a wholesome yet funny moment where we need to save the dog from the kitten and he will be on our side. Nope. It is the big guy again. It is Sloth. He hurls a giant doll towards us and the chase is finally on. By the way, while the panting sound was all along just him, the thing that sounded like a kitten was just this. Actually, it's kinda clever if all was done on purpose. Back to the chase, we slide under a bed and the view flips to first person. Nice touch. Then a big "Coast is clear" message pops up on the screen when Sloth is gone. Keep this in mind. So let's crawl out from under the bed, shall we? Nope. Sloth re-enters almost immediately the room. Even if the scary music faded away, the text said all is clear, there he is again. After some more chase, let's duck under the bed again, wait him out properly this time, and let's move on. By the way, he sounds kinda cute, let's be honest. Once he is really gone, let's push through the library and the alchemy rooms. There is a typewriter in another room, which our protagonist, did not recognize at all.
It's not a computer, that's for sure. It has alphabetic keys, though.
You serious?
You know, between around 2000 and 2005. This is not 2025. Typewriter existed in the 80s and in the 90s too. This game was made for modern audiences already back then. Whatever. This typewriter stamps letter plates based on whatever we type. In the alchemy room, a golem. Yeah, it is a golem built from soil. Yeah, from soil. It blocks a door, which we need to get through. And its chest has a square slot. Perfect for a letter plate. A file says its name is Emmet. Let's connect the dots, shall we? Let's type Emmet in the typewriter, get a plate, plug it in, and the golem moves. It's a clever puzzle and honestly one of the cooler beats so far. Though I wonder what would happen if we plug in a plate with the wrong letters. Anyways, I'm too lazy to try that too, so don't even expect seeing that scenario. Why don't you just go play the game yourself and try everything you want to, rather than just watch me playing it, right? By the way, like and subscribe, please. Please, please, pretty please. Please. The overall rhythm of the game is classic. Huge map to discover, locked doors all over the place. The few that open up become your path, and notes hint at how to think and where to go next. We wander around the garden and find a locked door for which surely we need to find a key, and also around the same time we find some notes where there are mentions of a panic feature. There is no visible meter for it, but in stressful situations this could increase and you can reduce it with herbs, as being in a panic state makes Fiona more uncontrollable and even more vulnerable. So how it works, it basically narrows her vision. For the player, it causes the screen to desaturate and vibrate and makes her run erratically, often tripping and making it impossible to open the menu or command her companion. Yes, by the way, you heard it right. Her name is Fiona.
Fiona!
No, it's not mentioned during any cutscenes or doesn't say on the inventory screen as usual in these games. Honestly, I thought she has amnesia from the car accident, but there is her name. We found it in a gameplay manual. Yep. Anyways, so within the first 60 minutes, here is the standout sequence. We step into a suspicious room with piano playing in the background. It suddenly stops.
Ah, Fiona. I see you finally awakened.
It is not the background music. A voice up on the balcony starts talking to us in that melodramatic villain tone. This game is more Resident Evil than I expected.
I don't ever remember being a part of your crappy script.
This is post-production, Gabe. Duh, you idiot. This game was also made by Capcom. No wonder you feel like playing the love child of Resident Evil 4 and Code Veronica. The guy on the balcony tells us to leave the bedsheet of the person sitting on the opposite end of the table in the room. This a mannequin? Another soil sculpture? Another golem-like thing? Probably it is unclear on purpose. But one thing is clear for sure. There are some creepy things going on around here. The garden key works fine as expected and opens the way up to more hallways. Here we pick up two cracked plates labeled R, E and ST. Obvious clue they form the word rest when combined. We spend way too long trying to figure out where to fuse them. It was late and I'm also dumb by default, but in hindsight, with the typewriter we could have simply made a new plate with the combination of the letters saying rest. But in the moment we ran around like a headless chicken trying to do it the immersive way, but without any luck. We also encounter Slot again, so we spent some time playing hide and seek around the castle with him.
My darling. My darling.
In the room with the creepy mannequin, there is a bookshelf for which Fiona says she might be able to tip it over if she tries hard enough. What does that mean? So let's test the sprint then square shoulder check function to knock over enemies and possibly objects. Maybe we can knock this thing over as well? Nope.
I'm fine. Must be getting too old for this shit.
Only the normal interaction works here, and even that does not tip it over. So maybe this is not even a puzzle, maybe this is just contextual. If there is an enemy nearby, then in a scripted moment it works. Probably not, and as I just said, I'm just dumb. Either way, let's blame the game. Let's say it's another case where the game teases an interaction but does not back it up yet, which adds to the feeling, am I missing something here? We also find some notes on something called luminescence, a blue floating light that can chase you through doors and expose you even if you are hiding. Sounds nasty and kinda annoying, but in practice, we bump into one, it pops, Fiona staggers for 2 seconds and that's that. Either we just got lucky or the first interaction was more about the introduction than real tension. By the time the clock hits 0, here is where we are at. If the game stayed exactly like this, pure hide and seek, lots of reading, sprint, evade, hide on repeat, it just wouldn't be my thing. I like some actions in my horror game, please. You know, limited resources, a tool or two, a reason to stand my ground, but this hour rather leans harder on running and hiding. In general, hide and seek stuff, not my thing, but I also had fun with Alien Isolation. And I dig the unbeatable stalker enemy idea, but I guess hunting ground is just not my thing, so I guess, it's going to get to be rejected, I'm afraid.
Not enough cash, stranger.
Wait a second, where the heck is the dog? This is what I was looking forward the most. In the garden we also spotted a tiny hole to crawl through next to a door blocked from the inside, and I instantly pictured Huey squeezing through that opening and opening it from the inside for us. Along the way we also found some dog treats that I assume you can use to heal or reward him. It's so obvious that the companion system is meant to add agency and variety to this basic gameplay. Oh my, okay, I suck at this game. Normal people were 30 minutes ahead of me. And look at that, they met the dog within an hour easily. If I judged only the first hour as is, with no Huey, it's not my cup of tea at all, on personal taste alone. The tutorials are front-loaded, the movement sometimes fights the camera, and a couple of chase moments feel more annoying than suspenseful. It's not bad per se, it's just not my preferred gameplay type. But the dog changes everything, for obvious reasons. The level design ahead keeps placing little hints that you will have a dog companion. A crawl space here, a blocked door there, dog treats to find in the kitchen, and it is clear the game wants Huey to become your toolset and armor in this game. And well, I just want to see that system pay off. You know, commanding him, opening routes together, distracting possible enemies, and just in general, taking head-on this creepy adventure with my buddy Huey together. Turning the hide-and-seek cat and mouse gameplay into a cat and mouse and dog gameplay. Okay, never mind. It is accepted.
Thank you.
What did you think of Hunting Grounds? Have you ever played it? What do you think of the opening hour? Do I suck at this game or not? Have you liked the video? Have you subscribed already? Let me know down in the comments below. I was Gabe and I see you in the next one. Until then, keep gaming. Subscribe, please!